So, when you come in, you'll need to turn the system on. There's one button to do that. And it is down here, and it's labeled System Power. Why don't you go ahead and push it? I'll let someone else do it.
This one?
Yep. It's going to blink while the system is turning on. This takes about 40 seconds to boot up, so the amplifiers won't turn on until this is ready. So it should not ever pop. Kind of the goal.
What's going to happen with this?
We're going to, but now I think there's no call for it, but we're putting it back in the fellowship hall. We think that and the speakers and the amps we have could be used back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Receptions.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
There's a little welcome screen that pops up. I'll leave that up. You guys can make it go away in the future. So when you tap on the X, you can say don't show that again, but it's kind of just some handy tips on how to navigate. This screen on the mixer is a multi-touch screen. So you can swing back and forth through the channels. You can go up and down through the channel strip, that kind of stuff. But what I'd like to do is kind of talk about, are you real familiar with the old Soundcraft mixer and how that worked? Okay. We have the top knobs on that mixer are the gain, right? On here you'll see a gain that's kind of on the top. So what I like to do is I'm going to use the handheld for this. Once I hit, the basic operation is you hit select for what you want to work on and then you work on it. So grab the handheld, this is a handheld wireless. Turns on like the other two wirelesses. Once it's on, it's on. So you tap it once and you can get in there. If you tap again, you can get into this gain screen. What the Yamaha has done is made it pretty easy to set your gain. So you talk into a microphone, and when you see the green starting to blink, that means that's where you want the gain. It's just easy peasy. If you want to get technical, the gain is really set to be about -20. Where it was 0 on that mixer, this one's 0 is full out digital. Anything beyond that's clipping. So -20 is the level they like you to target. So if I talk on this microphone, I can see the gain's up about the right level. Turn it down, it's not loud enough. I can turn it up. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Now it's way too high. Red is bad, so it's telling me turn it down. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check 1, 2. Now I know the gain's about the right level. And now I can start turning the fader up. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check. So we've set the gain so that it works pretty well. I'm in a full spot right here, so it's going to try to feed back on me. But it's just kind of an easy way to start. Let's see, EQ. You guys have played with the EQ on that mixer? Things are pretty flat as a starting point. What I like to do on most vocal channels and most mixer, or most even instruments, is I tap to get into the EQ screen. So now we have kind of a graphical version of the EQ. I have turned down what's a high pass filter, which I think that had a high pass filter on it. It might have been like set 80 with a little line and a diagonal line. That cuts off the low frequencies. So if I turn that off, it's going to pick up my handling noise. I turn it on. Oops. My finger, I guess, takes care of some of that. Should take care of some of the popping. Yeah. As a practice, I have the high pass filters turned on every channel except something that has content down there. The piano has content down there.
Right.
A bass player would have content down there, so you would turn it off for that. So this system has pretty good response from really low bass frequencies all the way up. So it should respond pretty well to bass notes and stuff. Other than that, you've got a high pass filter. There's 4 other EQ filters you can play with. Just by tapping them. This is the low. It's set as a shelf, kind of like that one. It's it's a touch and turn thing. So you can see when the purple circle's blinking, there's 2 arrows sideways. That means it's going to change what the frequency is that you're doing. Tap it again, it's going up and down, that's going to boost and cut. So check 1, 2, bass, boomy, 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 bass gone. So it's touch and turn, that's how the mixer works. If you want to get fine tooth, you press and it'll let you do fine micro increments.
Okay.
And it's the same for the low mids. They're a kind of a peaking. Now's when the multi-touch comes into play. If I want a really narrow filter, I squeeze, just like on an iPad or any other touch device, or you make it wide. Check 1, 2. You can make it sound really weird if you want to. Check 1, 2, and really you can just drag it around as you want to and notch things out. So one of the tools for feedback fighting is that you find that one frequency that rings all the time. You might be able to pull it out, make it really narrow, find that frequency by sweeping this back and forth and kind of cut it out. That may help. You're going to be able to get a lot of gain before feedback because of the way the system is set up and the building is. But if you run into that feedback situation, that's going to be pretty helpful.
If you've been playing with this, is there a return to presets?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
My question exactly. How did we go
There
back
are.
to square one?
Not that I would
System
need.
reboot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So the way I like to operate, once I have things set and kind of a mic check-in, this will be week to week. Turn this off, I don't need that on anymore. Is I like to kind of have my faders where I like them, and then during the service I kind of run the on switches. So Toby gets up to talk, I turn on Toby, his fader's already up. When he's done talking, I turn it off. So I really only turn the microphones on when they're needed. I want to pay attention and not turn them on after he starts talking.
Right.
So if he starts to talk,
Listen
pull the
to this
fader
man.
down
Listen to this
and
man.
then bring it back up slowly. Yeah. So yeah, if you do find yourself getting distracted because somebody said, "Ooh, that's a really cool mixer. How does that work?" You're like, "Ah, I gotta pay attention here." You turn it on and bring it up slowly, and it won't shock people so much. Just a best practice kind of thing.
Cool.
Yep. So.
You guys, this making sense?
Yeah,
Good.
makes sense.
I'm glad it makes sense to you.
Yep.
Did you guys, I heard you playing piano earlier, did you guys run piano through this yet?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did.
Sound good.
Good.
Got kind of a basic levels.
We kind of, yeah, we played with it. It
Yep.
sounded pretty good.
Good. Are we gonna do, is the, any of the other instruments playing tomorrow?
Yeah, I talked to John, and even though they're not scheduled to play for the services, they're going to come. Hopefully, someone will come in between services so we can do a sound check.
Like violin or cello or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
I said minimum if we could get a violin and a cello, that would be
Great.
great.
Super. Cool.
There's some other things on the mixer that you can kind of play with, but I just want to talk about caution and stuff. So there's a gate on the mixer. So let me go to my handheld again. The way a gate works is it waits until the certain volume hits and then it opens the channel or turns it on. So the gate is closed until you turn it on. I'm going to turn it on here. You can kind of see graphically on here, there's this meter called gain reduction. So right now you can see it's all the way down. It's turned the channel all the way down. Until I talk into the microphone, it'll click on. So what you just heard is kind of the danger of gates. The gate isn't turned low enough, or the threshold isn't low enough to turn on. So if I turn this on, then the gate works okay. But if I talk quietly, it's going to click on and off.
Ah. Okay.
So that's just, really my advice is, you probably don't need it, don't use it.
Right.
But if it's making a noise like this, it could be that the gate is not clicking on. When you see that, you can see on the channel strip here, there's a little G that shows up right by the name. And when I click on it, the G is solid when it's closed, and it opens up when it's on. Let me turn the threshold way down here. And then it opens up, you can see it's hollow, or that it inverts.
Okay.
Now the tool you probably will use, I'm going to turn that off, is compression. So